Welcome everyone to the Inland Sports Show. Before we start the show, make sure you like this video and you've subscribed to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. And if you're a local business or organization and you'd like to promote yourself on this show, just send us an email, inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. The show starts right now. Garcia's left-footed. And welcome to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We are chock full of football in this episode. We got some really great interviews we're excited to share with you out there. But before we get to the interviews, make sure you subscribe to the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Tell everybody you know as well. Give this video a like, and if you'd like to take your support to the next level, we also have a thanks button on each of our videos. We'd appreciate that as well, so we can continue to bring you great coverage here in the Inland Empire. A little bit later on the show, we're going to hear from Hillcrest head coach Travis Carter. We're going to hear from Mount San Jacinto head football coach Casey Mazzotta. The Eagles coming off a couple titles, brand new stadium out there down in the Fee. So he's very excited about this year's team and just the great amenities they have down there at MSJC. But we're going to start with some high school football. Billy Cardosi, the head coach at Kaiser, will be our first interview. But before we get there, let us show you the preseason league championship predictions voted by local coaches. We put the percentage next to the school name in the league so you know exactly what they got. And I bring up Kaiser first because we're going to hear from Billy Cardosi in just a moment, but they're the heavy favorite to win the San Andreas League. And you can see all the voting there. Aquinas and Orange Vista, unanimous picks to win their leagues, the Ironwood and Ivy respectively. Liberty and San Jacinto, a dead tie for the Mountain Pass League title. So big thanks to all the local coaches who submitted a vote to predict league champions for this upcoming season. But we got a long road to go here. We haven't even got started with our first game of the season yet. Scrimmage week for most of our local teams, and then we're going to really get after it next week in week 0. Okay, our first interview is with Billy Cardosi. We're going to talk about a bunch of things, including him giving some of the, I'd call it epic, some of the most memorable postseason, post-game sound bites as the Cats were making that run to the CIF championship and also going to the state finals. Here's about 60 seconds, the best of Billy Cardosi. You may have already seen this. It went viral a little bit. Here's Coach.
It looked bleak there for a while, but our kids never give up. It was bleak. We threw an interception in the fourth quarter down 7. We got a fumble and got the ball back. Everybody just was going to hand these guys the championship. Don't get me wrong. Arcadia's a very good football team. Our kids have to battle. We have to battle for respect.
We get to say we're Southern California champions. It's an amazing experience.
We do what we do. We just did what we did, and then once we got the big turnover down here by the man, Lucas Manduhan. Mike did his thing, boy. He did his thing, and we're CIF champs. Nobody gave us a chance, except everybody in our room, everybody who believes in we, not me. We, not me, did this.
I'm tired. You're not going to get the same thing you got last time, Gore. I'm sorry.
And we are now CIF champs for the 4th time.
I'm humbled. Very humbled.
Because Kaiser is #1!
I'm exhausted.
We got to take a ride.
Because Kaiser is #1.
That's right. He's taking that ride.
Well, 2018 was certainly a special year for the Kaiser Cats. Billy Cardosi, maybe they'll do it all over again, and he'll give us even more epic post-game interviews. Here is Kaiser Cats head coach Billy Cardosi on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
Join us here on the Inland Sports Show. This guy is the king of the jungle over there at Kaiser High School. The head coach of the Kaiser Cats, our good friend Billy Cardosi. And Coach, man, it's about to get real. Here we go. Scrimmage week, week 0, right around the corner. Is this an exciting time of the year? Are you anxious? Like, how would you kind of describe your feelings going into your first game to see what you actually got, this with your team this season?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I don't know if it's anxious as much anymore. It's exciting to finally get to start to play football games again. And when you have a great coaching staff like we have, it's just fun to be around those guys again and around the kids again. That's important. So it is exciting. It's an exciting time of year. Everybody starts fresh and we're all, have big dreams and big goals, but your goals have to start small. You got to have small goals first. For us, we got to figure out a way to get in the playoffs, and go from there.
Coach, speaking of getting into the playoffs, do you feel like looking back at last season that this Kaiser team maybe has something more to prove? Like, hey, we're better than what maybe that record or that team showed last year.
Let's see. How can I say this? We were definitely I thought others did not think we were deserving of a playoff bid, but I thought our 6-4 record and our team, according to this, I don't even want to say that word that starts with an E, format that we have, I thought it was good enough to get in. Obviously we didn't, but it is what it is. And so, and don't think our players haven't heard it from me, about, all the things that you might think I might say. I probably did about us not making the playoffs and about it being on our players and us, and nobody feels sorry for us. And so
can you use that as motivation and saying like, hey, don't leave it in the hands of someone else to be like, well, what's the tiebreaker here? And, like, hey, just go win games. If you win enough games, you don't have to worry about, what this tiebreaker is, or do we belong in that division? Like you just win games, you get in. Exactly.
And, I have my own feelings about our goofy conference. Don't get me started on that. I don't understand why the top teams don't have 6 teams in the league. The top league doesn't have 6 teams, but that's not my decision. And, but it is what it is. And we have to play who's on our schedule. And they tell me we're in the San Andreas League this year. So let's buckle up, San Andreas League, and let's play.
Well, Coach, you open up with Arroyo. You've got a 4-way scrimmage coming up this week before, your first real game. What are you hoping to accomplish in that scrimmage before you play Arroyo? Obviously, you're probably not going to put all your cards on the table, but you're just trying to come out healthy. You're trying to just go against somebody else. Like, what's the objective?
Yeah, the objective is to definitely stay healthy and to evaluate players and make sure they're in the right spots. This is when you come out and you say, wow, you're going against somebody else and this kid really doesn't belong here, or why isn't this kid playing more? It's important for our coaches to make sure that we get guys in, to get guys playing. It's not something where you're going in trying to, hey, we're trying to win the scrimmage. You do a lot of evaluating at the very beginning of the year, and you evaluate yourselves as coaches. And sometimes you put on that film and say, wow, we were wrong. This kid is in the wrong spot. We need to put, this guy here. And you usually make those changes from scrimmage to game one to game 2, where you can really figure out who's who, because until you're playing somebody else, unfortunately, when you don't have a lot of depth and you don't really know, and and you don't learn a lot. You do learn things in 7-on in the summer, but come on, man, we're putting the pads on, so that makes a little bit of a difference, more than a little bit. So we have to evaluate. It's about staying healthy and evaluating and making sure we're making the right decisions for us as a whole.
You still have that battle cry, the we, not me?
Always. The Rams took that from us. Pitt took that from us. I know Narduzzi at Pitt is using that too. That started at Kaiser. We, not me, baby. Let's go. That's painted on the side of our school with all our rings. So it's exciting to see. So next time you're out, you can take a picture of it and post it on your little.
I'm going to. So I'm going to. I'm for sure. I'm going to do that. Coach, I feel like I've gotten to know you pretty well over the years. I don't think I've ever asked you this, but being a dad, especially being a girl dad, I've got 2 daughters and myself. Does it change the way you coach football, look at your football players? Have you changed at all in your approach?
Yeah. I definitely have. And a lot of it is the sanctification process, and my faith has a lot to do with that. But when you are a father, and especially when you go through an adoption, and we're going through an adoption process again right now, hopefully that bears fruit here soon. But when you go through that process, you definitely have to figure out your priorities and your faith, and it definitely humbles you, and it gives you a perspective of, that you don't have when you're not a father, and when you don't go through those things. And honestly, when you don't have faith, you definitely change how you approach things. That doesn't mean we're not tough. I'm not tough. I'm definitely still, ascribe to what Coach Brook taught us. You don't get better in life without pressure. It's definitely my job to apply pressure to our coaches, to our players, and even sometimes to other people around campus. But it's important that you still do those things, but then you do it through a lens of kind of a fatherly lens. And sometimes you have to do it, and and that also, you do it out of love, but that involves also being positive at times. And not that I wasn't positive prior to this, but you definitely have to be positive. You definitely have to be tough, but there's a line and there's a rapport that you have to build with your staff, with the community, with your players, to be able to find that right mix, to be able to apply the pressure needed to get better.
Coach, let me switch gears back to the actual football team on this question. When I think of Kaiser, I think of, man, the Cats are going to be physical and they're going to run the football, up and down the field. Is anything going to change this year? Is that going to be Kaiser again?
We're always going to try to be physical. We're going to, try to get in a bunch of different formations that give us the best, position, the best chance to move the ball and to score points. And we definitely like to run the football at Kaiser, but we're not afraid to throw the ball. I tell people all the time that if we're dropping passes on air, why am I calling passes when there's defenders? So if we get good enough in the passing game, I'm not afraid to throw the ball. We're not afraid to throw the ball at Kaiser. We just have to execute. And for us, with our personnel, the best personnel for us execution-wise has been running the football. Now, we might be able to throw the ball a little bit this year. I have a feeling that can happen. We'll see. It's up to our guys. We have a good group of kids in the quarterback and receiver room that have been playing pretty well. And but we also have the ability to run the ball, and that's never going to change here.
Yeah, I know Kyle Tyler, and in fact, Jonathan Marshall, too. I think it was 2 years ago. We had them on the show. I think they were sophomores, at the time, right? Yeah, one of the best running back duos in the area.
Yeah, unfortunately, last year, Kyle got hurt after week one against Ramona. In the first two games, Kyle had 517 yards and 7 touchdowns, and then didn't play the rest of the year. He was out, and unfortunately now his buddy Junior, he's out. He had an off-season knee injury, and he's out right now, and he'll be out for a significant portion of time. He's working his rear end off to get back, and we're hoping and praying for the best that he can get back sometime this year. But it's up to God and the doctors to figure that out. And him, he's working really hard to rehab. But we definitely have some experience in that. In that area and running back, and we have some other younger kids that are coming in, and another kid moving from another position to running back to fill that role for Junior until he's healthy, and we're hoping he can do that. And we like our quarterback room. Terrell Holmes Jr. is doing a great job, and he played defense a lot last year, and he was our backup, but he's doing a phenomenal job running our offense right now. And we're hoping we have another player who's playing quarterback right now. We'll see if he. Well, there's some issues with paperwork we're working through, but if he comes through and it works out, he'll be a pretty good quarterback too. So we might have a 2 quarterback system, and go from there. But we definitely have a decent offensive line. Right now, Zach Affantini leads our defense. He's phenomenal. His dad played here, and he's eyeing for his father's sack record. So he wants to break his dad's sack record this year, and I'm hoping Zach can do that. He's getting some looks to play at the next level, and we're hoping that he gets out as well, just like many of them have in the past here at Kaiser. And we're just hoping to be smart on defense, get the ball back to our offense, and score some points.
Coach, it just hit me that Kaiser as a school is getting old enough that you have players come through, and now their kids can come through the same program. Yeah. That's kind of special, right? Building that legacy.
For sure. Definitely, Zach's dad, Bernard, was on the back-to-back championship teams in 02 and 03 when I was a young coach here with Coach Bruick. And he was the, player of the year in the CIF one year. he was a phenomenal D lineman. And then in the playoffs, Dick would give him the ball, and he was a load to bring down and helped lead us to a couple championships here. And Zach's hoping to do, similar things that his father was able to do, which is cool. Kaiser started varsity football in 2000, opened in 99 with a JV schedule. And yeah, so it's 2023. So, we're hoping to build off that. We're pretty proud of our accomplishments. We're 14-time league champ, 4-time CIF champ, 2 state, 1 state championship, 1 state regional championship. We're pretty proud of that since, we've only been playing varsity football since 2000.
Yeah, you can see some of the rings on behind you on the wall in that picture frame up there.
For sure.
Coach, you had one of the best post-game sound bites ever when you guys made that run to the championship. It was epic. It was one of the best. But I'm just curious, let's say your first game against Arroyo. It's 30 minutes before game time or 45 minutes, whenever you guys come back, from early outs or whatever. Do you think about oh man, what am I going to say to the guys to inspire them? Or you just walk in there and I'm just going to pour it all out from the heart? I have nothing written down. I haven't thought about this. It's just all from the heart.
Well, I think about it, but it definitely comes from the heart, and it definitely comes from a place of excitement, love and pride that we have here at Kaiser, the tradition that we have, and the love of doing things the right way, doing the right thing when no one's looking. We pride ourselves off that, doing our talking on the field through our play, not through running our mouths. That's what we try to preach, and and just channeling all that energy, and it just comes out. I remember I was pretty fired up. So those guys deserve that. That love that I gave, and that definitely came from the heart. There was a lot of emotion. Ailish was there. It's funny because we had a videographer who made really good edits. Henry Rush. You remember Henry?
Henry Rush.
Ailish, she goes, "Hey, Daddy, I want to watch Daddy. I want to watch Daddy." And she knows how to turn it on, and she's like, "I want to watch the one with Ailish in it." And then and I want to watch the one with Papa in it. Because my dad passed recently this year, so. We watch, she watches those and gets all, gets excited and has me pause it because she's in it, and it was definitely from the heart, with her being new and the adoption being new and winning the championship. That was definitely organic from the heart and spur of the moment. So I definitely didn't just write that down. That was definitely from the heart.
Well, if Ailish's daddy plays his cards right, he might have some more epic sound bites this season. If you guys, it looks like you're gonna have a big year, and I hope you do, Coach.
I hope so. We'll see. I don't know if we're any good or not. We'll find out tomorrow. Batdorf's guys will probably come over and run us over. We'll see.
The old fighting Batdorfs. The
fighting Batdorfs, Lancaster and Alta Loma will be here tomorrow. So.
But I'll give you. I don't know if you saw my interview with Coach Batdorf, but I'll give you their key to victory. I'm probably spoiling it. I asked Coach, I'm like, "What's your key to victory?" I mean, is it obviously Novi's going to run the football, right? And they're physical. Yep. They're kind of like Kaiser, I guess. And I was like, "What's the key to victory?" He's like, "Well, it's their good-looking head coach." So there you go. If you can take that out of the equation, you guys got a chance.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Total Batdorf move.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Batdorf. I'll never forget the first time I ever heard that guy's voice. He left a message for Coach Brook back in 99, 2000, and he was like, "Oh, this is Batdorf, like dork, but with an F." I'll never forget because Coach Brook played the message for all of us while we were listening. I was like, "Man, who's this dork?"
And he's sounded the same way for 25, 30 years.
Yeah, I love that dude, man. He knows I'm playing. So,
Well, Coach Cardosi, listen, man, you are the best. I really appreciate the time. You've always been so generous with your time, and we do appreciate it. Good luck in the scrimmage, and good luck in that Arroyo opener next week in week 0. I do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Pep, and hopefully we'll have some highlights sent your way from some of our student videographers.
We would love it, man. We would absolutely love it and use it in all our shows. That is Coach Billy Cardosi of the Kaiser Cats here on the Inland Sports Show.
Take care, Pep.
Inland Sports. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Rialto, right off the 210 freeway at Ayala Drive. Eat more chicken.
What up, y'all? Boostman here with a quick 2-cent. Parents, there's no better place for kids to learn how to control their emotions than through sports. There's nothing wrong with competing with emotion. The key is how we use them. Channeling your emotions to work harder, focus more, and compete with intensity is encouraged. But when emotions lead to negative outcomes, this can be detrimental to athletes. That's why it's important that parents model emotional control for their kids. Screaming and arguing with refs, blaming coaches, or getting worked up at other kids on the field are terrible examples of emotional control. So if you want your athlete to keep their emotions in check, be the example. Boostman.
The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun. And welcome back, y'all, to the Inland Sports Show. You just saw the promo about requesting video throughout the football season, high school, college. We want to see your great highlights because we can't be at every game. We don't see every play of every game. So if you get something great on video, we'd love to have it for our shows. We also pass out weekly awards that we use the video with. So please, inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. Save it. Make it one of your favorites. Hit us up. All right, more high school football now in this segment of the show. We're going to check in with Hillcrest head coach Travis Carter. The Trojans have a tough non-league schedule. The River Valley League's going to be fun. There's some really good football teams in the RVL this upcoming season. Last year, Hillcrest made it to the playoffs, won a playoff game. Now they're trying to capitalize on that. They got some guys back. They're going to have some experience up front. Travis Carter excited about this group. Let's talk some Hillcrest football with head coach Travis Carter on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we get set for the 2023 high school football season. He is the head coach of the Hillcrest Trojans, Travis Carter, joining us here on the program. And Coach, man, it is about to get real around here with week 0 coming up next week. Before we talk about your opener against Riverside Poly, a game that's going to be on Riverside TV, I should add, you got a scrimmage this week. I know you're going to be at Colton High School. In any scrimmage, what are you just hoping to see out of your team? What can you guys accomplish in a scrimmage so you guys feel good going into that first game against the Bears?
Yeah, well, hey, first off, Pep, thanks for having us on, man. We appreciate you. But, going into a scrimmage, you're just, number one, you want to get out there, make sure both teams stay healthy. But you want to see what, your guys are made of. So we got, obviously our returners, we have a pretty good idea what they can do. But we got some young guys that we're looking to step up and a lot of empty spots, a lot of position battles where we're still trying to determine, who's going to be the starter at, some key spots. So really, it's just, it's an opportunity to see what we got against, another team. You get into camp and you're kind of grinding against each other every day. And at some point, the kids get sick of hitting each other and, they need to go out and play somebody else. But yeah, we're scrimmaging, Thursday over there at Colton. With Ray Rodriguez, who does a great job over there. So we're excited.
All right, Coach, that first game against Riverside Poly, whether you're playing Riverside Poly or anybody else, tell me why is it important just to maybe get some victories under your belt early on in the season before you get to River Valley League plays? Can you ride that momentum? Can you build some confidence? Why is it important early on in the season to maybe get a couple dubs?
Yeah, I think, obviously they're all important, but just looking at the first one, it's like you want to go into the season just kind of with that confidence boost and, kind of get little bit of, I don't know, swagger to the kids. Just kind of, game one's always an important one. Kind of sets the tone for the rest of the season. Doesn't necessarily make or break you. You could start out hot and then, finish slow and vice versa. So, but it is an important one. You want to, get out on the right foot.
Coach, going back to last season, you guys made it to the playoffs. You won a playoff game. How many guys are back from that team from last year?
So we got a good bunch coming back from that playoff spot. Really some guys in some key spots. But then we got a whole lot of guys that were kind of just role players on that team, or maybe they were second teamers, special teams guys who were kind of stepping up, into their new roles. So, yeah, I mean, last year's team, made the playoffs. Unfortunately, we didn't make a run very far, but that was last year. We like to tell kids that, each year's team is going to kind of create their own identity, especially that senior class is going to leave their impact on, this football team, So, last year's team kind of had their own unique identity, and I'm kind of excited to see what our team's identity, moving forward is going to be, and kind of how, our seniors especially are going to impact that.
So a team's identity, do you feel like those early games, including Riverside Poly in week 0, does that kind of help form that identity of this year's team? You're like, okay, what are we going to be about? Like, let's go show on the field what this team is going to be about in those early games. Does that kind of dictate what the identity might be for this team?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. You're going to find out, real quick, either you're going to confirm what you already knew about the team or what you thought you knew. And then, the fun part is when, guys positively surprise you and can come out and, make some plays that maybe you didn't expect, or maybe just some sleepers out there. But yeah, really it kind of starts early on in the off season with, who's going to step into those leadership roles in the weight room and, in the off season conditioning program and stuff like that. But yeah, it's, real football's around the corner, and, I know the kids are excited. I know I'm excited. So we're ready.
Coach, if you were going to point to a certain, I don't know, a position or a unit, maybe the offensive line or whatever, what do you think this team might be strong at?
Definitely, we're strongest up front with our offensive line this year. So we're returning 4 kids who started a decent amount of varsity games. So starting, left to right, our left tackle, Aaron Candia, he played a bunch last year. Our left guard, Elias Capote, he played a bunch last year. Our center's a 3-year starter, Christian Benitez. He was all-CIF kid last year. At right guard, we got a couple kids battling it out, a sophomore, junior, a couple young kids. But and then at right tackle, we got a kid, Jose Beltran, who started a few games last year, had some injuries, but, overall, we're pretty comfortable with the experience at that spot. But even there, we feel we're strongest at that spot right now, but we're still trying to find, a piece here or there, and, the backups and all that type of stuff.
Coach, his name is escaping me. I'm looking at your roster. Who was the kid? He was a receiver last year as a sophomore, and he just burst onto this scene. He just blew up. He's having some huge games in league play. Yeah, so that was Julian Sandoval. So, and it's funny, his dad's actually our offensive line coach. So, I mean, you could tell he's a coach's kid because he plays the game, high IQ level. But then you could tell his dad was an offensive line coach because he's tough, he's not soft. But yeah, he had a big year last year in that second half, especially in league. I think he had a couple games where, he had, 2 or 3 touchdowns apiece. So, and he's developed even more. I mean, he's going to be better this year, I believe, really just because of his work ethic. So we're excited to see what, he brings to the team this year. And we got some other weapons as well. So we're excited. Speaking of those other weapons, of course, you just mentioned Julian, but who are some of the other guys? Just do a little name dropping real quick. Offensively, who are some of the guys we're going to be talking about?
Yeah, so offensively at running back, it's going to be Robert Bustamante, who got, he kind of split time at that spot last year, did a really solid job. He's also going to be playing some inside linebacker and a ton on defense. We're also going to have Alfredo Vences playing running back, Jacob McDowell playing running back. Jacob's also going to be playing some slot receiver. We kind of, move him around a bunch. Our other receivers are going to be Chad Phillips and Nick Shaw, who's going to be, I think, kind of another sophomore who's going to hopefully burst onto the scene this year.
Ideally, Coach, you'd love to have guys, just play on offense or just play on defense. But if you got a stud football player, are you like, man, let's go Iron Man. You're going to play offense. You're going to play defense. You're going to be on special teams. I mean, do you just, if you've got a great player, do you just try to find ways to get them on the field for, a ton of snaps?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we obviously, our kind of style of play, how we play offense, we like to kind of push the tempo a little bit. So we try to avoid having everyone playing both ways, just, so we stay fresh and we can play fast. But yeah, there's certain guys you just want to keep on the field. So, I mean, one of our guys, Matt Ramos, who's, in the mix at quarterback, him and Christian Alvarado are going to be, taking our quarterback reps this year. But he's one of those kids that, hey, we can't just have him on the sideline when offense isn't out there. So he'll be playing some DB, some corner, some safety, and, some kick returns. And, he'll bug me and, huddled message me at night, hey, coach, can I play receiver too and do this? So just, young kid that wants to compete. So we're excited, just kind of see what he brings to the table. I think he's going to be a pretty dynamic kid.
I'm going to say you probably don't mind those late night texts if your players are thinking about, man, how can I help this team? How can I get better? How can I help coach?
Yeah, no, that's what you want. It's like you try to tell them, like, hey, I'm never going to get mad at you for asking. If you're trying to get on the field, like that's the attitude we want.
Coach, I'm looking at your non-league schedule. You play some good teams. I know you had, Grand Terrace last year. They were strong. Tockwitz, in fact, I think that one went down to the wire with Tockwitz last year. And let's see, Tockwitz, Grand Terrace, you got Redlands, Lakeside. Of course, you open up with Poly. How do you think those games will prepare you? Do those teams maybe run different offenses or give you different looks before you get to league play?
Yeah, so, I mean, the offenses, everyone kind of runs, schematically, everything's kind of similar with everyone.
Except for
obviously,
Novi.
Norda Vista is an outcast.
Yeah.
Grand Terrace runs some double wing. It's a little bit different than Norda Vista, but it does help us a little bit. Lakeside in the past was, fullback, tight end, kind of old school smash mouth football. So that, I think, helped us a little bit getting ready for that Norda Vista game. But, yeah, it's going to be hard telling. I know Pauly's going to be, new head coach. So it's kind of we don't know what they're going to be, what type of a style they're going to be. I know they got some good players. I know they're going to be well coached. But really, yeah, I think, we wanted to schedule Poly. It's a Riverside school. I'd like to try to keep as many, local rivalries, either keep them going or get them started, as being one of the newer high schools in Riverside. And then obviously like Redlands, one of the oldest schools around as well. So, yeah, we're excited about our non-league schedule. Grand Terrace is going to be a tough team, Tockwitz, and hopefully that prepares us for our league. I think the River Valley League is going to be strong this year again. Obviously I think Ramona's the champs. Everybody's kind of got a target on their backs. I saw them over the summer. They're everyone's talking about how they lost a lot of guys. I mean, they got a ton of talent still, and obviously Norda Vista is very talented. Patriot's going to be very talented. I know La Sierra Arlington going to be much improved, so it's going to be fun, because this is our last ride in the River Valley this year.
Are you guys moving to the old rain cross?
Yep, yeah, we got the boot, so us in Arlington are going to the rain cross after this year. But yeah, people always ask me how I feel about it. It's like, I'll deal with that next year.
Yeah, exactly. Just deal with what's in front of you right now, right? And take care of that. Well, Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. You've always been so generous with your time to hop on this show, on Riverside TV, whatever the case may be. We're just big high school football fans. We're big Hillcrest fans, so I really appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah, no, thank you guys, man. I love what you guys do for the kids. I mean, Riverside TV, Inland Sports Show, the coverage we get in this area is pretty phenomenal. So appreciate you.
We love it, man. Travis Carter, the head football coach for Hillcrest here on the Inland Sports Show.
Thanks, Pat.
Inland Sports. And that was Hillcrest head coach Travis Carter. Coming up next here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to do a little college foosball with Casey Mazzotta, the head football coach at Mount San Jacinto College. The Eagles coming off a couple championships, made it to won an American Conference championship 2 seasons ago, made it to the American Finals last year, now in the National Conference, and the best part, they've got a brand new stadium and great amenities down there in Menifee. So you remember the campus out there in San Jacinto? Well, now they've got that brand new campus right along the 215 freeway in Menifee. So we'll talk some MSJC Eagle football with Coach Mazzotta when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back.
What up, y'all? Boostman here with a quick 2 cent. We live in an era where student-athlete empowerment is at an all-time high, and this is a good thing. But be careful. There's a fine line between empowering yourself and not being gritty. Just because things don't go your way doesn't mean you should automatically explore other options. Communicate with your coaches, find out what you can do better, and be sure you've done everything in your power before making the decision to move on. Empowering yourself as an athlete is great, but using empowerment as an excuse to take the easy route is a recipe for disaster. Boostman.
And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Rialto, right off the 210 freeway at Ayala Drive. Eat more chicken. Inland Sports.
Could possibly do it. This could be a way for schools to get in the tournament, so this could be good. It's just painful, I guess.
Yes, it could be. If you're Oregon State, you're Washington State, you're probably like, nobody wants us? Like, we're gonna hang out here. But hey, if you add Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State, some of those schools, I'm down. Like, that's good football. Like, I'm interested.
Like when I was a kid, let's go back to the Pac-10, baby.
You know, you make this push right at the trade deadline to get people excited about what the Angels might do down the home stretch. But now they have lost 6 straight games, Patrick. They are 7 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays for that final wild card spot. And they've got several teams they would have to leapfrog just to get to that final wild card spot, including your Seattle Mariners. So, man, it is not looking good right now for the Halos. Inland Sports. Hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM, breaking it down in the world of sports. So make sure you check that out every Monday and Thursday morning. Now here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to talk some college football. Mount San Jacinto, new stadium, new conference, same goals for head coach Casey Mazzotta and the Eagles. We talk everything. We talk about winning, more titles, the new facility out there in Menifee. We talked about his dad, Frank, who is a college football legend here in California. So we run the gamut. Really excited about this. A long interview, man. We just kept going because, just a lot of great things and a lot of things I wanted to ask him. It was great to catch up with Coach Mazzotta here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we are getting all fired up for the football season coming up right around the corner. First week of September is opening day, kickoff Saturday, September 2nd, I believe, for college football. We've got head coach Casey Mazzotta from Mount San Jacinto College, head coach of the Eagles for a long time. Coach, is it, I tried to look it up earlier, I can't remember, was it 15, 16 years? It's been a while.
Yeah. I started back in 2007, so we had the COVID year. We didn't play in 2020, so however you want to count that.
Well, Coach, man, listen, you've had a great run at MSJC, especially the last couple of years, conference championships, an American championship, and now you can kind of see behind you a brand new, beautiful facility out in Menifee. How exciting is it just to be the head coach of the Eagles right now?
It's a great time to be here, and it's always been a great place to be, but it's only gotten better. And right now, I'm sitting in my office, and we got a beautiful view looking out the back from the second floor here, and so it's a nice place to be. We've come a long way. My old office was a portable modular building, so to go from that to where we're sitting now is it's just much different. And I'm just so excited for our staff and for our players and for our campus community, to have football out here at a brand new facility, but also we've changed campuses, so we're out here in Menifee, which is really kind of like the center spot of our district. So it kind of puts us more centrally located to the students that we serve.
Well, obviously, it's not a huge surprise that our audience are big-time high school football fans. So when you talk about MSJC, of course, you still got that Hemet, San Jacinto, the Jack area out there. Now Heritage, Paloma Valley. We got Liberty now down in Winchester. I mean, there's so many great athletes. Do you feel like, Coach, when you're filling out your roster for the Eagles, that you don't have to really go too far, man? There's a lot of ball players in your own backyard.
We've got a lot of them, and they've always been in our district. That's for sure. Our district is really big. So we've got Temecula and Wildemar and Elsinore and Marietta and all those schools. That we're all part of our district. But getting those guys to travel out to San Jacinto, Hemet area, to travel out to that valley every day was just always a tough stretch. So, we always had quite a few of those guys on our roster, but just not quite the numbers that we have now, more numbers and from great quality football programs, like you said. The quality football programs that we had out in the Hemet San Jacinto Valley have always been there too, but just not the number of them. There's just a few in that valley. And so being out here just opens it up to quite a bit more, so and it's definitely a talent-rich area for sure. They were just telling me the other day that, Menifee is slated to be the largest city in Southwest Riverside County, and our college has been the fastest and still is the fastest growing community college in the state of California. So it's things are only looking up. We've had some good years and done some good things, and that's only we're looking for that to keep going upward.
Yeah, that Menifee area is booming right now. A lot of folks wanting to move to that part of the county. It's a great place. Lots of great school, MSJC, great high schools, movies, restaurants, like everything they got down there. Coach, let me ask you about just in terms of, winning, like especially the last couple of years. When you win titles, does it help in terms of recruiting? Like people know about MSJC. It's been around for forever, but now, especially you guys being off the 215 now and being kind of smack dab in the middle of it all and having the beautiful new stadium and you're winning titles, does that help in terms of, hey, people know about Eagle football? You don't have to, I don't say recruit as hard because, of course, you want to go out there and get those kids. But do you feel like, man, people know about MSJC football just because of the winning the titles? And again, the new stadium helps and right off the 215.
I hope they do know, but I don't know. It's way back when in 2012, we were 9-1 that year, and I don't know that anybody really knew, and then going back and from that point in 2013, I thought we had probably one of our best teams that we could have had coming back that next year, and things didn't quite. Had a couple injuries and things didn't quite go our way, but I kind of thought we had some momentum building there. So sometimes I think it's like people are aware. Sometimes I get fooled to thinking they are aware, but I know everybody lives in their bubble too. It's tough. If you're sometimes if you're a high school coach, you're so worried about what you're doing at the moment, and high school recruits too. They're really worried about what they have going on, and they should be. That's what they should be doing is handling their business, and we're just trying to be that place for them when their high school career is done, and that it's a good quality program for them to come to, and we think that we're a good destination for guys in our area. So, but I think as far as have they known about it and does it help? I don't know. It's yet to be seen. I know that we've got some momentum going, and we hope to continue that for sure.
Well, it sure feels like you're in a good spot. You must be, because again, you've been there for a long time. And if there's a pillar out there in the college, coaching world that knows when you're in a good spot, you don't leave. It's your dad, who was at Cerritos. I think it was 40 plus years. What are some things that you took away from your dad in terms of maybe coaching, the way you run a program? If you're in a good spot, why leave? Right? You've been at MSJC this whole time, and things have been working well for you.
Absolutely. I grew up as a junior college product. So, my dad had done it my whole life. That was really, I kind of grew up on that football field at Cerritos College. And when I was done playing and I came back and to get into coaching, that's right where I went, to go with him and be with him a little bit before branching out on my own. But, that was kind of like I think there's kind of a clique of guys that are junior college guys, and they're believers in the system, and they know what it does for our local California high school kids. We know the benefit of it, and we're just believers in it. And so I really, I kind of have just always been that guy, and I preach it everywhere I go, because I really believe it's such a great level, and especially in our state, we have it better than anybody. And being here and being at this level, it's we get the chance to legally go out and recruit players to be in our program. And so, we get a taste of trying to build a really good team, and the satisfaction of doing that. And also the benefit to see those guys that, that we're not their end stop, that they have, things that they can go do beyond us. And it's great to be able to help touch their lives and be able to do that too. So, it's kind of been my thing, and I really, really haven't looked anywhere else. And my dad's definitely one of those guys, when you're in a spot that, is a good place to be, then, there's not too much need to look anyplace else. The grass, can sometimes seem like it's greener on the other side, but most of the time we all know it's not. You got to kind of water it where you're at, and I've tried to do that here. It's taken us a long time to get to the facility that we've had, or that we have now. And I just I tell our guys all the time, it's been, even from the time that we actually got the okay to build this facility, it's been 10 years from that point. So it's been a long time getting to this point. And I'm certainly enjoying being here, and so I think this is always a great place to be, or a good place to be, and now I think it's a great place to be.
Well, Casey, your dad probably doesn't remember, but I certainly remember the great Frank Mazzotta, the head coach at Cerritos, back in, I want to say it was probably 2003, maybe 2004, but I think it was 2003. Cerritos was playing, I believe it was Victor Valley in the old Potato Bowl in Bakersfield. I used to be a sports anchor for the ABC up in Bakersfield, and I remember I met your dad. It was at some restaurant, but it was like a media day where the coaches were there, and I think they brought up like a player or two, and we had a chance to interview them and get ready for the big Potato Bowl at Memorial Stadium. And I just came away so impressed. I still remember this to this day, and I'm just so glad to be able to actually talk to you now, because I'm like, man, that's Frank's son. Like, I remember Frank Mazzotta, man. It was like 2003. I don't know if you were still in high school, maybe you were a young guy on his coaching staff, but I think it was about 2003.
Yeah, at that time in 2003, I was coaching at Fullerton College.
Okay.
So I was the defensive coordinator at Fullerton College, and so we had played against each other a few times at that time. So he is definitely a legend at the junior college level in California. He's a member of the Hall of Fame, and he's just a great. Has always been a great resource for me, because this was the level that he's been at, and he always did things the right way, and prided himself on that a lot. And so, I try to take that from him, and just try to be the best we can, and run this as it's as a true college football program, and do things as well as we can do them. We want the guys to have a great experience coming through here, and that's one of the things that I really took from him, is that every guy that's played for him has that feeling. They really felt like that was a great place to be, no matter what happened after being there. They felt like their time at Cerritos was a great experience, and we're trying to provide that for our guys too.
Hey, Coach, finally, you kind of brought it up, the term, of being a great place at MSJC and trying to help your athletes eventually get to the next level, right? Maybe it's winning and recruiting your guys to get to a 4-year college. Maybe they go hand in hand. If you win, you get more attention, obviously. But as the head coach, do you feel like it's your role to, obviously you play to win the game? Herm Edwards famously said you play to win the game, but at the same time, the guys are there because they're hoping to, get another shot to play another couple seasons at the 4-year level and get a scholarship. I mean, I feel like you could probably do both, right? Both things can be true at the same time. You want to help your guys go to the next level, and you want to win right now. You want to bring some more titles to MSJC.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always kind of a dual piece, and that's one thing that at our level that is really important. We're definitely trying to win, that's for sure, but we're also trying to have that piece of matriculating guys onto the next level. And so, we've had it go both ways, in years that we've been really successful, like you said, you tend to have that happen a lot too. And even when times that you don't, the things go hand in hand. Maybe you don't have as many of them, but that kind of goes hand in hand. The more of them you have, the more you win, and the more you have, the more they can go. So it's, we do pride ourselves that we've had a lot of guys come through our program and have the opportunity to go on and keep playing this game with somebody to help, kind of fund that education for them. And that's really, really our goal as well.
All right. Finally, Coach, last question. So what do you think? I could do this all day. So
Me too. I'm good.
What do you think are the keys for the Eagles this upcoming season? What do you guys have to do well to feel like you guys could, bring another conference championship, get to another American championship game? Like, what do you think you have to do well this year?
Well, we're moving up. Our state reconferenced, and so our conferences our state association has reconferenced and re-leagued everybody. So based off a power ranking formula, that they've taken the top 24 teams and they put them into a division, and then they took the other teams and put them in 12. And so we're up with that group of 24. So we're up playing in a completely brand new conference. So we're playing a lot of teams that we haven't played before. So on our schedule, there's only a couple of them we're familiar with. So, the key right now is that, we're definitely making a jump to, in my opinion, what is the top conference in junior college football in Southern California. I mean, our conference play is going to be, with Riverside and Fullerton and Saddleback and those guys, Palomar. So, I mean, we're all in the same conference now. And so, just not having been in that conference and playing those guys in a while, I think that, our kind of key is just to not worry too much about the opponents that we're playing, but just, we've got to get, up to our standard as fast as possible. And being able to do that with, guys at a 2-year level is sometimes tough because we play with a lot of freshmen. So, we've lost some guys in some key spots, and we're filling in with some key guys. And it's just, as a staff, we're really working hard at trying to, make our systems compatible to freshmen coming in and playing right away, but also doing that at the highest level possible that we can do. So, we're just really working on being great teachers and make sure that our players cognitively know what they're doing as soon as they possibly can, and then helping their physicals get as good as they can be too, so they can contribute right away. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, definitely a tough schedule, but that comes with success, right? You're getting bumped up. For a second, I thought you were going to say you were going to the Big Ten like everybody else. I didn't know.
Well, I just tell our guys every day, that they are, the guys that have been here before them have paved the way, and we've earned the schedule we've got. So, it's based off a system that's based on power ranking and it's wins and losses and common opponents and all those kinds of things. So it's, we're where we should be. And, now it's just playing a schedule where we're just not familiar with our opponents really. We haven't played them in a long time. We played Riverside last year, and, we have, in our bowl game last year, we played Citrus, and we play those guys again. And we had Grossmont in our conference, so they're also in our conference again this year. So there's a few. We play Moore Park in our non-conference, so we played Moore Park in our non-conference last year too. So there's a few in there that we're familiar with, but the rest are teams that we haven't played in quite a long time at Mount San Jacinto.
All right, Coach. Final question. Not trying to look too far down the road, but getting bumped up. It's still the national conference, right? Still called the national. Getting bumped up. Is it exciting to think in the back of your mind, hey, if we have a great season, we got a chance to, go to the state playoffs. We have a chance to be in the hunt for a state title. I know that's 10 regular season games down the road, but is that kind of exciting though to at least have that possibility at the end of the year?
It's definitely exciting, and I mean, anytime that you have the chance to play for something, and in the division that we were in before, we had the chance to play in conference championship games, and we had the chance to play in divisional championship games the past 2 years, and there's always the opportunity to play in bowl games and things. But as you're looking at things, you always would love to be able to have the opportunity to be able to say, that we have the chance to go to the highest game possible that's available to us, and it's nice to be able to say that. So it's like if you're sitting in a team that's got you sit in a Power 5 type conference, you know that if you have a great year, you have a chance to get to the big dance, and so that's nice to be able to do that. So we're excited.
Well, Coach Mazzotta, listen, I really appreciate the time. This has been a lot of fun. Congrats on especially the recent success out there at MSJC and the brand new stadium out there as well. Excited to see what you guys are going to do this season.
I appreciate that, Pep. We're excited too, and we're looking forward to our community coming out and being able to come out here at 6:00 on a Saturday evening to come see a game is going to be great for them. I know our campus community is working on making our game day atmosphere just a top-notch college football atmosphere. So we're excited about that, and we hope we get some people come watch and see what the product is like.
That's awesome. That is Casey Mazzotta, the head football coach for the MSJC Eagles here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Pep.
Inland Sports. A little bit of a longer interview with Coach Mazzotta, but I really appreciate the time, man. It was really fun to catch up with him. Best of luck to the Eagles this season. Big thanks to him. Big thanks to our other guests tonight. Of course, Billy Cardosi, the head football coach for the Kaiser Cats, and Travis Carter for the Hillcrest Trojans. More football as we officially go into the season. Next week on the Inland Sports Show, we will have our first Ken Sporting Goods must-see game of the season, and we'll also list another 7 or so games of games to watch, games that are intriguing. They have good storylines, really good teams going head-to-head in week 0. That's going to do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. Make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. My name is Pep Fernandez. Stay safe out there. God bless you guys, and we'll see you next week on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.